What is a legal scam that is still happening in 2022? Paying services charges. I don't mind paying a $10 delivery fee but will not pay a 99-cent service charge. 80+ hour work weeks for understaffed tourism towns around the world. Timeshares. I figured Airbnb and VRBO and all the other temp rental disruptors would have put a stop to this predatory own little pay mucho cash grab which destroys local housing markets and creates wet paint ghost towns. But alas, it persists and we have to stare at lines of cheap shacks or Soviet bloc-style complexes left vacant on off-seasons or occupied by flightless gray birds who only fly south because some Iowa idiot got conned in a Ramada Inn on a Tuesday looking for a free golf bag. Arguably these apps have created more of a problem, but I figured it'd be better. Sadly overplayed. But health insurance. Just yesterday there was a post about a guy who had medically necessary surgery and the insurance didn't want to pay the hospital. Hot single ladies in your area. Estate agents, they charge you thousands to open a door to a house so you can look around it in a couple of emails. Paying convenience charges when booking tickets online. Live YouTube crypto giveaway. Cable company making you rent a router for $10 a month. This should be illegal. Automatic tipping at fast food places. I mean, I get leaving a tip at a sit-down restaurant where a waiter or waitress is taking care of you. But if I go to Chipotle and get a bowl and they automatically add a 20% tip, that's a lot of money. I might consider a tip if they could add cheese last, so the guac doesn't stick to the lid. Health insurance in America. I spend $600 a month to cover myself and my son and have never walked into a medical appointment without a $200 to $300 bill showing up in the mail. It seems since I can afford insurance then I get charged more for services after the insurance company negotiates prices down and opos. I'm a single father making $15 per hour. Insurance is more than rent and my car payment combined. If debt collectors can trick a grieving person into uttering words that imply you take responsibility for your dead relative's debts, that can be treated as a binding oral contract and allow them to collect from you. Edit. I've gotten a lot of replies saying this is unenforceable in pretty much any jurisdiction. They just make you believe that's the case so they can increase the pressure for you to pay. Don't give them a dime and go talk to a lawyer. You should do that anyway before following legal advice from someone who may not even be in your country. Charging huge fees for parking permits without spending any of that money on the maintenance of those parking spots. Extended warranties. So many promises made, but when time comes for a claim, almost all are denied. Charging for parking in hospitals and clinics. Also charging people money to withdraw money or because they have small, positive, balances in their bank accounts. Printing fee for digital tickets. Title pawns, payday loans, some charging 300% interest. Pay to win mobile games. Why insurance goes up after an incident. The fact that you give regular monthly installments is the intent that they will save you the hassle in case of a problem. Congress officials being allowed to trade stocks. That news in America is entertainment. Can get away with saying pretty much anything and still call it news and quat. The PlayStation 5 collectors are still just grabbing as many as they can and making sure to sell them at a massive upcharge. This has been going on since the PlayStation 5 went onto shelves. The troubled teen industry. It doesn't work. It traumatizes children. It's legal kidnapping. I hope more attention comes to it and something happens. They're a business and the goal is to make money, not help troubled teenagers. FFS, half the time the kids aren't even troubled. ETA. The troubled teen industry refers to for-profit organizations aimed at steering rebellious and at-risk youth onto a better path through reform camps. But their methods are tough love, negative/positive punishments and physical labor. Because it's a business meant to make money, a lot of corner cutting happens. They hire young and untrained staff for less pay rather than therapists and certified nurses and teachers. It's also not regulated at all so they can effectively do whatever they want with little recourse. They use scared straight tactics and beat kids into obedience. They claim the best way to send a kid there is by surprise so they don't try and run beforehand, aka burst into their room at 2 a.m. and drag them into a van with very few belongings. Look up Elon School for a notorious one. Paris Hilton was kidnapped at 2 a.m. and sent to Provo Canyon when she was 16. Look at how well that worked. USA tax paying system. Paraphrasing, we know how much you owe, but we want you to calculate it and you have to get it correct under pain of prison or paying too much. Oh, and the whole process is more complicated than it needs to be because of private interests. I used to go to the ticket gate to get tickets, to circumvent the fee, but now the ticket office is only open when another concert is going on. It really pisses me off. I'm looking at a downtown concert in the summer, and hoping that their ticket office actually has predictable hours. Insane rent prices for houses even squatters wouldn't stay at. Insider trading within Congress. But if we do it, we end up in prison. Modern art collecting is an easy route to evade taxes. Wealthy person buys painting of black line for $20,000, have art appraiser friend appraise for $1. 2 millimeters, donate painting to museum or non-profit, write off over a mother-in-law line and losses, 0 taxes, celebrate black line like it's an amazing and deeply moving piece. Medication costs. My dog had hookworm and so my doctor recommended I get treated as well just to be safe. Pharmacy called me warning that it would cost me $2,995. Asked my doctor if there was an alternative, was able to get an equally effective treatment for $45. University fees. I have to not only pay for my classes and admin fees, I have to pay for 2 separate student union fees, a technology fee, an online processing fee, and a recreation and athletic fee, despite the fieldhouse being entirely closed due to COVID. Not being able to vote where our tax dollars go. Using tax dollars to pay thousands of politicians around the country when all they do is get paid 6 figures, live in glorious mansions, drive sick cars, and argue all day and get nothing done. Having to file your own taxes then being fined if you don't do it right. Edit. As many pointed out, the IRS doesn't know all of it, but they know enough for the average person. Companies shouldn't be allowed to lobby to keep the process convoluted, and there shouldn't be such a large industry around tax prep. Civil forfeiture. You're going to tell me that a cop thinks that my property might be used for illegal activity, and that cop is going to steal it from me and pad their department's bottom line? What the actual F? If you're a personal business owner, you may receive what looks to be a bill in your mail from the U.S. Domain Authority. At first glance, you're under the impression that you need to pay $289 to renew your website domain name. However, there is very fine print stating that you are not legally required to pay the listed amount. It's actually an ad requesting you pay that amount in order to have your website listed on the U.S. Domain Authority site. I can't imagine how many people have been tricked by this. Read your mail carefully. I'm not sure if there's an actual name for it, but the practice of banks where they prioritize your automatic payments in order of highest to lowest so that you're more likely to overdraw earlier, and then they can slap on their overdrawn fees for each consecutive payment that attempts to go through. For example, you have $600 in your account and have 6 automatic payments coming out. They prioritize the $400 loan payment first, then the $120 car insurance, then $50 internet, $50 cell phone, $50 utilities, $50 renter's insurance. You now owe $90 in overdrawn fees, are late on 3 bills, and are mostly broke. If they'd have prioritized the last 5 first, then the loan payment, you'd have $280 left, a bill you're late on, and $30 in overdrawn fees. It's so effing scummy. Ski resort prices. You're telling me you close at 4 p.m. and I'm still paying $160 for a day pass? That's a half-day mother effer. I once accidentally clicked something on the internet and unbeknownst to me signed up to some crappy subscription for $15 a month. The subscription was basically a monthly spam email about something uninteresting that went unnoticed. It was somewhere between 6 to 12 months before I noticed I was paying this company money, as I thought it was my Wi-Fi bill showing up on my direct debit record. I googled the company name. It was a company in Macclesfield or Mansfield if I remember correctly. Straight away the reviews were all saying it's a scam, hard to cancel the direct debit, etc. Phoned my bank, who informed me the company was known to them but it always stayed within the law and I'd be extremely lucky to get any money refunded. Bank also said that I needed the company to stop the subscription as they couldn't do it. I found the customer service number for this company. Straight away was told by the automated voice lady that it was PS1 something a minute to be on the phone to them, which infuriated me as I was having to pay even more money to get them to stop scamming me. Anyway, I got put on hold after a minute or so of ringing. The icing on the cake was the on hold song was The Streets, Dry Your Eyes Mate. At that point I laughed to myself and applauded their sheer cheek. I got played well. When Uber says your ride will cost $22, $26, then you get to your destination and they charge you $31 with zero explanation. The housing market. So many corporations are buying up houses and then jacking up rent. Construction and real estate industries. And then you have builders that build small, cheap, units that won't stand the test of time because corners are being cut. And real estate agents trying to line their own pockets with bidding wars and creating a sense of scarcity and urgency. Private prisons. You're telling me that they charge the government for the beds and the taxpayers still gotta foot the bill if those beds are empty so the company running it doesn't lose money? F you. My kid's school charges a $3 internet fee if you want to refill their cafeteria cards via the website. If you do it in person, there's no fee. College textbooks. We updated a figure in Chapter 8 and changed the page numbers for 3/3 edition. It costs $180.